Most people don't think of North America as being a mission field, but with rapidly growing cities, the rise of secularism, many people in this area of the world need to learn about Jesus Christ. We'll be learning more about that and much more coming up next on this program. I'm standing in front of the Washington Monument here in Washington, D.C. And of course, George Washington looms large in the history of the United States. The first president, the father of the nation, and he's left a rich legacy of strength, purpose, and integrity. Welcome to Mission 360. I'm Gary Krause. On today's program, we'll feature many people who live their lives with integrity and purpose. They may never loom large in the history books. They may not be recorded in the book of Hebrews in the great faith chapter, but they will be recorded in God's book of people who are serving and living and following His example in incarnational ministry here on earth. First up, let's travel to Alaska and we'll meet a group of young people making the difference in the lives of children.
I honestly think that Camp Polaris and the location of Camp Polaris is, the church is sitting on one of the most beautiful pieces of real estate in the world.
It's amazing for kids to get to come out in nature where literally it's almost 2 hours to the nearest civilization. For instance, the scenery right now is mountains, a lake. It's amazing.
I think I come to camp to see the kids.
The kids are great. They're always energetic.
Camp gives them hope. A lot of these kids have hard lives. These kids live in the village. They don't have any way to get out, really. The only way to get here is by boat or plane. You can't drive.
They're in a small fishing village. There's not a lot outside. You're providing a home for them, sort of a family and a home somewhere where they're safe and they can just have fun and be a kid for a week.
Gives them a week of just meeting adults that, we have a lot of, even our college kids that are staff here. We got people that are going to be mechanical engineers, we got electrical engineers, music majors, all kinds of things that are interacting with these kids just that are fairly established people who get to rub shoulders with them and talk to them, and they get to see people that love them and care about them that are not, doing alcohol or drugs or other things. They're seeing people that are smiling, having a good time without causing trouble.
They deal with a lot of, there's suicide, drugs, alcoholism is big. They grow up in alcoholic families and they have broken that cycle. It's hard, for these kids to grow up in Dillingham and stay in Dillingham and never leave Dillingham, and there's not a lot of progression going on there.
And we're only 1 week a year, so we got to really make a big impact to have a lasting on the other 51 weeks. Or
Jesus. When school starts, they're singing these songs throughout the year. It's giving them a lot of enjoyment. They're singing about God and they're helping them learn things about Him. And it's also just giving them something that they can then go home and teach others.
My favorite thing is water sports like kneeboarding, tubing.
Just learning about God and meeting friends.
I just came to have fun and make new friends and visit.
My favorite thing about camp is learning about God and Jesus, because God is the one that made the world and He's the one that helps us every day.
A lot of these kids don't know Bible stories. A lot of them aren't Christian. So this is their experience with God.
Being able to warm up is a big thing out here, because when you're in the water, you get real cold real fast.
When they come out of the water, they don't have a place to rinse off. And then they get what's called swimmer's itch, or they call them duck mites. A shower house would be a place where they could rinse off so that they would be able to avoid having that happen.
I haven't gotten any, thankfully. I've scrubbed up really well in our Mackay, which is our version of a shower. It's basically a sweat house.
We run in there and get hot and then run into the lake and soap up and then run back in and warm up again.
Okay, well, the sleeping conditions out here is basically if you have a piece of cardboard, you're the lucky winner. If you don't have cardboard, you just sleep on what's available, which is nothing. So we do hoard cardboard out here. It becomes a prime commodity.
Like all the camp stuff here is about 50 years old, probably. It's all falling apart.
The doors have big gapes underneath them and above them. The wind comes through, so the kids are often cold.
There's no more cabin space. If we had more kids, we just need a facility that can accommodate. But if we could improve those buildings and the facility, I think the mission could be broadened and we could use it more than just 1 week out of the year.
For the past 50 years, Camp Polaris has offered outhouses only, but with your assistance, they plan to build bathhouses and restrooms for the camp. Government regulation has changed, and camp could happen for more weeks if conditions were improved. A portion of your 13th Sabbath offering this quarter will go to Camp Polaris. Please pray for this wonderful ministry that is connecting people in the remote areas of Alaska to the God of hope.
Jesus, you're my superhero, you're my star, my best friend.
My guest is Pastor Dan Jackson, who is the president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the North American region. Pastor Jackson, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're looking at mission in your territory. Where does your territory actually extend to? I'm thinking of United States and Canada, but it's more than that, right?
It extends from Bermuda in the east to Guam and Micronesia in the west. From the North Pole in the north to the Florida Keys.
Okay.
So it's a huge territory.
How many people are living in this territory?
You mean in the
population?
General population? I believe somewhere in the area of about 330 to 350 million people.
Okay, now when many Adventists talk about mission and they're talking about the mission field, you know they're not thinking about North America. They're thinking about overseas, they're thinking of Africa, Asia, etc., etc. Why should we consider North America a mission field?
North America is a huge mission field. I have said to many people, and I continue to say it, it is true the General Conference is focusing on the 1040 window, but for the North American division, the 1040 window just moved in next door. The huge immigration into these lands, as well as the indigenous populations of the lands, creates a great challenge to the church. Not only is there the multi-ethnic, multicultural issues, but there's also the issues of secularism and postmodernism, et cetera, that really make this a huge mission field.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's become a bit of a cliche, but North America now, well, at least the United States is no longer a Christian country. Canada, the church attendance is right down low. And so we are noticing, not only in rural areas, but in cities, whole groups of people who never even go to church, who wouldn't claim to have any connection.
In the city of Vancouver, for instance, in British Columbia, and Vancouver is somewhat similar to Seattle in terms of its demographics and so on. But in the city of Vancouver, 8% of the people claim to have any Christian background at all. So we're talking in Canada, it is not a Christian society. It is a secular, multicultural society, a pluralistic society. Usually the United States leads Canada in a variety of different ways, but in this regards, Canada really is ahead of the United States, and many of the things that have taken place in Canada I see now happening in the United States.
What are some of the exciting, encouraging things you see in mission here in North America?
Well, you know, how long do you have?
About 4 minutes.
Well then, Well, you know, number one, in a general sense, what I am seeing as I travel around this division is a great urgency among many people to do exploits for God. I was at a camp meeting in Central California 2 years ago when a young woman got up. Her name was Leila Lewis, and she gave this description of what she wanted to do for the Bay Area of San Francisco and Oakland. I have to be honest. As I listened to her, I said to myself, whoa, is she thinking strange thoughts? But then a few months ago, in the Bridges Project in San Francisco and Oakland and the Oakland Bay Area, 500 medical professionals assisted over 4,000 people with $4 million of free medical care. And not only did that, but they were involved with them. There were people singing to them. There was counseling. There was physiotherapy. There was dentistry. And what this is reaching out to a community with the hands and feet of Jesus. So that's very exciting. Now that's kind of a movement that, and it is now like a movement in North America, because similar projects are planned for Spokane and for San Antonio prior to the General Conference. But that is one area. Another area where I was very excited was I had the privilege of attending the North American Division of Women's Ministries Convention in Orlando.
As a special invitee?
I was a special invitee. Somebody actually asked me, how did you get here? I said, I just passed the estrogen test.
Okay.
However, what I saw 800 women do for a day and a half, or for a day rather, in Orlando, that is going into areas of the city, assisting people with food, with clothing, giving them massages, doing all kinds of things that were a positive statement for the Christian faith. Then, of course, we have our traditional things that are going on. Great evangelistic outreach programs. Not so long ago in Seattle, we had 100 evangelistic meetings taking place at the same time. Recently in Oklahoma, there were about 30 of the same kinds of meetings. In Guam and Micronesia, we have about 40 women who went out to preach the gospel, or rather 20 plus women, pardon me, and in one of those meetings, they baptized 43 people. So, you know, it just depends which way you want to look. I believe that the North American division is a sleeping giant, but the giant is waking up, and God is going to bless and prosper the efforts of His people, because there are people, and this is what's exciting to me, there are people throughout our division who are catching the vision, who are saying we can do something for God. We don't have to be Mark Finley. We don't have to be a great evangelist or a great doctor, but we can take simple remedies. We can take all, you know, the comprehensive health message. We can reach out to our cities, and we can do it in a variety of ways. And they are actually buying into this. So I'm praising God.
Fantastic, and I'll join you in that. Pastor Jackson, thanks so much for joining us today. And on behalf of the World Church, I want to thank you for what the North American Division is doing, not just here, but in supporting mission all around the world. Because basically, our viewers at home, mission of the Seventh-day Adventist Church around the world has been carried on the shoulders of the North American Division that continues to generously support the world field with its mission offerings. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back straight after this break. Welcome back. My guest is Pastor Delbert Pearman, who is the Planning Director for the Office of Adventist Mission here in the Adventist World Headquarters. Delbert,
yes.
We actually share offices next to each other.
That's right, that's correct.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, you have a vast experience in mission. You've been a missionary where?
Well, I served right after college. I went to Malawi, served as an accountant, then returned back home for about 12 years, and then went to Sri Lanka as a mission treasurer, 4 years, then on to the Middle East, where I served as another 4 years as secretary treasurer in the Middle East, and then on to Ethiopia as a union treasurer, and after that to the United States.
Now, when you came back from Ethiopia, you brought more than memories. What did you bring back?
Oh, we brought a special gift, an Ethiopian princess. We adopted an Ethiopian girl, and she's been a wonderful part of our family, as if she should have always been with us.
Yeah, what a blessing.
Yes.
So you've served as a missionary in Africa, in Asia, and the Middle East, and we're talking about 13 Sabbath mission offerings,
Yes, yes.
which are collected, I guess, every 13 weeks.
Right,
and
yes.
this is a special offering, and you've actually seen some of the results of these offerings.
Yes, yes, very much so. The 13th Sabbath offering is a way for the church to develop institutions such as schools, clinics, hospitals, purchase airplanes by which we can support the church planting activities of the church. And it actually started in 1912 with the first offering going to India to develop a school. And we saw that in Asia and even in Africa. Matter of fact, in the division, the second offering went to the Adventist University of Eastern Africa in Barrington, was the second offering in 1912. And today it is a thriving university there in Kenya. And you can see the long-term results of the 13th Sabbath offering, providing resources for things that the mission would not otherwise be able to do because of the very high cost. And so I've seen the blessings of these offerings down through the years in various parts of the world.
Now, Delbert, every week in Adventist churches, mission offerings are collected, but this is a very special project-driven offering, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, this allows us to focus on specific projects where the church at the annual council meeting of the World Church every year would vote projects for the succeeding years. And there the whole World Church focuses on one particular region of the world and on one particular project. And so that's how we work collaboratively together to help to expand the work in different parts of the world.
Now, how much money is collected for an average 13th Sabbath offering?
And approximately, when you look at the total income right now, it's over $4 million collected around the world.
Per year?
Per year,
yeah.
Yes, yes.
So each quarter, a region of the world can more or less count on $1 million to go to some specific needy projects.
That's correct, yes, yes.
Now, how do people give to this offering?
Well, they give through the Sabbath school offering when the offering plate comes along every 13th Sabbath, or they can give directly to their conference or their mission designated for the 13th Sabbath offering project.
Right, and also viewers at home, you may not attend a Seventh-day Adventist church, but you think that this is something that you'd like to support because it's making a difference in people's lives around the world. You can just go to adventistmission.org, and on there you'll find online giving, and you can specifically designate that you want to give a donation to 13 Sabbath offerings.
Yeah.
Now, Delbert, we see buildings, we see hospitals, clinics, schools,
Yes,
as you
yes.
mentioned. But it's more than that, isn't it? It's people.
Yes, that's correct. It's the way in which the church can broaden its outreach and its support for that community by serving the needs of students. Many people who come to our hospitals are non-Adventists. Many who attend our schools are non-Adventists. So this is a way by which the church can reach out and touch even in the lives of the community.
Delbert, when you travel, and I know that you've just come back from Africa, what are some of the biggest needs that you see in mission? I mean, there's many needs,
Yeah.
but what are the major needs that are still there?
Probably one that really impacts me is the need for reaching the urban areas,
Yes.
the large cities of the world. We have people just flocking in, over 200,000 every day, it is estimated in Africa, of people migrating to cities. And many of them the cities don't have the services, the infrastructure to accommodate these individuals around the world. Many are poor. And so therefore, the Adventist Church can very much as Ellen White talks about, centers of influence,
Yes.
these can be established. And the 13 Sabbath offerings can also help to establish these, whereby the church can touch the needs of the community, and in doing so, in a holistic way, lead them further on to a saving relationship with Jesus Christ. So reaching the cities through health lecturing, through literacy training, through vegetarian restaurants, lifestyle, many different areas I could see where the cities need what we have.
Now, Delbert, as you well know, our office is helping support many urban centres of influence around the world. Share one or two of the projects that we've helped support.
Well, in Europe, we help with vegetarian restaurants. In Africa, we have AIDS screening clinics that we're supporting there. Also music clinics also in Asia. So we have several of them doing various things, many different ways of which the church is able to touch the community all around the world. We have lots of those.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Delbert. Please continue to support mission through the 13 Sabbath offerings and through mission offerings, and you can go to adventistmission.org for more information. Next up, let's see what will be happening to 13 Sabbath offerings right here in the North American region of the world.
Micronesia is one of 3 subregions of Oceania. The name Micronesia means small islands. With a total landmass of only 2,000 square miles, these islands are indeed dots in the beautiful blue ocean around them. Kosrae is one of the 4 main islands in the Federated States of Micronesia. In this island, you will see beautiful sunsets, lush green forests, exotic fruit trees, and a lot of friendly people who know how to live in community. There are large churches in Kosrae. The majority of the people attend the large church buildings of this main denomination here. In Kosrae, the families are very close and stick together wherever they go. So when a person decides to join a different church group, that means severing from family, friends, and any inheritance the family might leave you. Conversion is such a strong decision that one may come from riches to living on the streets on the same day. While coming to an Adventist church may be considered social suicide, attending an Adventist school is highly valued here. In fact, the Seventh-day Adventist School in Kosrae, as well as other Adventist schools in Micronesian islands, have graduated senators, queens, and other government officials.
Our schools are well known throughout the community, and many of the leaders in the islands have gone through our schools. For example, in Palau, the Queen of Palau went to our schools. Several of the senators have gone to our school. Right here in Guam, the former Lieutenant Governor had gone through our school to Walla Walla and then to Loma Linda Medical Center, where he became a doctor, and he practices here. So we have a lot of the leadership in the islands. In Pohnpei, for example, the former Lieutenant Governor, who's now a pastor for us.
This legacy of quality and holistic education at large is credited to the dedicated work of student and volunteer missionaries who come from all over North America and the world. They come for 1 year to teach, serve, love, and care for the precious children in the islands. This is a lifetime opportunity to engage a different culture and to share the love of Christ. The youth here in Kosrae love to play sports. They often spend their time practicing and playing with the neighbors at the local ball field and on the school court. Unfortunately, the weather is so unpredictable here. When it rains, it pours. Also, the sun near the equator burns hotter during the day, and at night, there is scarce access to electric light. The kids get together and play anyway. The Adventist Church wants to build a gym here in Kosrae, as well as on 3 other schools in the islands that do not yet have a gym. Gymnasiums have proven to be an effective tool to invite the community to play sports and have fun, but also as a place to conduct common interest seminars, a place for shelter, and many other relationship-building activities. In Kosrae, this gym will become the center of attraction to the people of the island. Can you imagine the impact this will make? This quarter, your offering will go to support the construction of 4 gyms in the islands of Kosrae, Chuuk, Yap, and Saipan. This small investment will pay dividends now and for eternity. Please pray for the children attending Adventist schools in Micronesian islands. Also pray for the community around Camp Polaris in Alaska. A portion of your 13th Sabbath offering this quarter will support these projects and other outreach initiatives in North America.
Some 4 million people come to Washington, D.C. and view the Vietnam Veterans Memorial every year. Nearly 60,000 names are written all along this wall of people who died in military service. I like to think that God keeps a list in heaven, and it's a list of missionaries who have been on the front lines of service and have given their lives, sharing the love of Jesus Christ. Well, that's about it for today's program, and I want to thank you for your continuing prayers and support for mission around the world. Mission service can be lonely, it can be discouraging, and it's so encouraging for people to know that there's a world church praying for them. Before we go, I'd like to give you an offer, and it's a global mission calendar. This calendar is full of faces of mission from around the world, and it's a daily reminder to pray for people that they may come to know Jesus Christ as their Savior. Well, that's it for today's program, and I hope you can join me next time here on Mission 360.